All right, welcome to episode 146 of my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there's other mediums that you can enjoy this content. So, first, the blog is myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. There's video content on rumble.com where I am my FX Buddies. On Spotify.com. They have audio and video, my FX Buddies. Apple Podcasts, I don't know what they have, but you'll find me there, my FX Buddies. And RSS.com, also my FX Buddies. All right. If I forgot anything, it's in if you see a more info, open, something like that, click that wherever you are listening or watching, and a link to the blog is there. All right, so it's Thursday and I am posting. And remember, I was like, I don't think I'm going to have anything to post. It's Thursday. They shut down for their holy day. Well, they surprised me. All right, so we'll get into it. I just want to say maybe there was a new listener. Someone made a comment, I need to speak louder. I am speaking actually pretty loudly and my levels are up and everything looks good. So, maybe you need to get earbuds and don't just listen through a speakerphone or listen in a quiet, environment, or listen in the car. If you have a phone that you connect to your car, it's YouTube. You can play YouTube videos on your car. And I know because some people have told me that they listen to me and I soothe their child. I'm like, hey, whatever works. But anyway, all right, so Thursday, December 19th, 2024, and you see the title. Sudani says we agreed with Trump to develop economic relations. But I was already going to post because there's some good news, post-worthy news, I'll say. And then I was just minding my business and I looked at the computer and I saw Sudani being interviewed, and I was like, oh man, there was nothing in English, nothing hinting at what he was talking about, and I knew it was new. It went on for at least 90 minutes, maybe even more. And then they printed out highlights of what Prime Minister said during a special meeting. So this person here, he got a special chance to sit down. He's the head of Iraqi Media Network. And I don't know if he was asking questions. I imagine he was. But for the most part, it's Sudani speaking. Okay, so I'm not going to go over everything. Ew, why is it doing that? I didn't do that. It's bullet points, but I didn't make them like that. But anyway, so I'll make this bigger for those of you on a cell phone, mobile device, whatever. So he says, this is Sudani. I rarely appear in dialogue meetings because I believe that the field is the deciding factor, whatever that means. But, just the point, he doesn't do that often. Just sit down with one person exclusively. Mm-mm. And looky here, the citizen wants to touch something realistic and is tired of promises. Boy, oh boy, I would like to know what else he said after that. Um, there is there's another post where it has more words, but all of that is mostly about Syria. So, but I'll keep looking, because the posts they were making were ending with to be continued. And so later tonight I'll go through and see if they elaborated on this. And even though and he very well could have, when speaking to, um, this guy, he could have said things that they're not putting in writing, right? So, yeah. All right. So there's stuff here, but I'm not really going to talk about that stuff. I bolded the ones that I like, but you can what? Go through and read the ones to see if there's something else that you like. He says, we do not want others to interfere in Syrian affairs. Again, in the news today, they're talking about, oh, look here, we presented an Iraqi paper, but it's also called a working paper. So, let's see. Iraq has reached a stage of regional and international reliability and acceptability. Let's see. Well, the main one is the one that I titled oh wait, okay. Here's another one. We will not allow any party to drag Iraq into wars and conflicts. See, there's a lot. There's a lot. We establish projects for 5 years, 10 years, and up to 20 years. The people trust the current government. These are all. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what that was. I hit a key on my computer by accident. Sorry, hope that didn't frighten you, startle you. And I don't know how to edit, so I don't know how to go back and cut that out. So sorry. Okay, let's see. I know it's here. There we go. There is a real partnership between Iraq and the United States, and we agreed with Trump to develop economic relations. Really? When did that happen? When did they have that conversation to agree? I guess that was a pretty heavy phone call, that one phone call, right? So anyway, so there's more. Um, like I said, you can go ahead and read that. Oh, it looks like, okay. The government will not hesitate to confront any suspicions of corruption anywhere. I like that. He's like, mess around and find out, right? All right, so this is the biggest story of the day. Jordanian dinar and Saudi rial. Iraq expands foreign transfers with new currencies. So, where was Sudani last week? In Jordan. And where was he yesterday? In Saudi Arabia. Yeah, so then lo and behold, this information comes out today. And I don't know if this is a current picture of the CBI or a computer generated, but I like it because it's all lit up and everything. Anyway, the Central Bank of Iraq announced on Thursday the expansion of external transfer channels for local banks to include new currencies other than the dollar, namely the Jordanian dinar and the Saudi rial. Now, we already knew they had approved the Jordanian dinar, but maybe that was on hold or something, right? I'm not really sure. They've been talking about it all year, but I guess it's going into play now. And then the Saudi rial. The bank also decided to allow Iraqi banks to finance trade with Turkey in euros, after it was previously restricted to use with European Union countries, in addition to transfers available in US dollars, Emirati dirham, Chinese yuan, and Indian rupees. The bank explained in a statement today that this step comes within its efforts to expand foreign trade financing options in various currencies and channels, and the bank has begun taking the necessary measures to meet banks' requests in these currencies. So this is more preparation for getting around when they close the auctions at the end of the year. Don't believe me? Okay, let's read on. The statement also indicated that this expansion in the foreign transfer channels provides transfer operations at the official price and aims to streamline the transfer and involve a greater number of banks in foreign transfer operations and expand the horizons of economic cooperation between Iraq and other countries, especially in light of the bank's efforts to find other channels to meet the volume of demand for various foreign currencies, according to Iraq's dealing with those countries. The bank confirmed that a smooth transition took place during 2024 from the electronic platform to directly approved correspondent banks, and thus the central bank achieved a fundamental transformation in line with international banking practices, and this transition is widely praised. So see, they're gearing up to get off the auction system, and they can't get off the auction and not use the new currency and raise the rate, or the currency is going to collapse. So we'll see. And then this is another, what are these? So there were tons and tons of articles about this because it was all over the place. They definitely want citizens, merchants, business people, everybody. They want everybody to know, okay, local banks can now do trade accounts, merchant accounts, whatever, and you can use the Jordanian dinar and the Saudi riyal. What are the objectives of expanding foreign transfer channels by the CBI? All right, this person who is not part of the CBI or the government, he's just an economic expert. See, there's his name. The goal of CBI in expanding external transfer channels for local banks. Because remember, the local banks were complaining. They're saying, hey, you're doing all this so Jordan can eat, Jordanian banks can eat, Gulf banks can eat, but us here, we're going to be starving. And so now here's something for the local banks. But guess what? They have to be licensed and they have to do everything according to the plan, right? So, all right. So the guy said in an interview, within the central bank's policy and its continuous attempts to control foreign transfers to finance trade, especially in dollars, right? There's a continuous effort to expand the basket of foreign currencies used in imports, especially with countries with which we have import dealings. The transfers in the currencies of the countries, and there was an agreement on this with the Turkish side, as well as the Emiratis, China, and today with Jordan and Saudi Arabia. This step reduces the demand for the dollar to finance foreign trade. Jeez Louise. Let me start over. This step reduces the demand for the dollar to finance foreign trade, as most of the demand for the dollar is to finance foreign trade. Okay? And with the expansion of the currency basket, the pressure in the parallel market on the dollar decreases, and this reduces the exchange rate in the local market. Let's see, this step will also allow many banks to deal with many countries according to the currencies of those countries, and this will enhance a major role in developing the work of banks in terms of experience. Its main goal is to control the dollar exchange rate and work to reduce it. All right, and then here's the version that's on the CBI, but I'm not going to read that. The only thing really, it says aims to streamline transfers. But yeah, so, all right. So here's a nice article about the Iraqi Stock Exchange. Global aspirations amidst internal challenges. And it's kind of long, so I'm not going to read it, but I just want you to know it's there on the blog if you would like to read it. But I do like this section here, smart devices for the market. And they just go on to say they recently connected with the Egypt stock market or stock exchange. And you can see right here, which allows users to trade via smart devices. But they don't expect that to be launched by June or July of next year. All right, let's see. What's this? Here's an article about the budget. Government and political wrangling bear responsibility for the delay in the budget, approving the budget. But, whatever, right? And then here's an economist warning of falling oil prices. And this is likely because one of the banks, Goldman Sachs or Bank of America, one of those banks, their analysts came out and said, could oil reach $50 in 2025? Or something like that. Or here's how oil could hit $50 during 2025, So there's talk. I mean, there is, so there's more countries that are finding oil and are, what is it, producing? Is that what, producing oil and selling it? And they're not in OPEC, so they don't have to listen to OPEC, right? And then we're supposed to come online and drill, baby, drill, right? And who's going to tell us what our limits are per day? So, and then some of the articles that are out about oil say there's surpluses. Right now, there's already surplus. Iraq put out an article. One of the major oil fields that they produce from their storage is full, so they can't produce. So what? They're not making money, right? So and then what comes after that? Well, we're not making money, so we can't pay you employees, right? So that's why they're watching it. But yeah, so hopefully though, if there is new production, new jobs, lots of people buying stuff, right? If that does happen, then the oil will be used up, right? And there will be no need for the price to go down. So we'll see. Let's see. Here's a person, and they're actually a member of the Parliamentary Finance Committee, and they're saying investment projects will not be affected by a lack or delay in funding in 2025. Why would there be a delay? Because the budget, right? This is a nice article. Also, central bank, correspondent bank, and trader reassurances. This is more information about switching over to the new system. So I'm skipping over that first paragraph there. Foreign transfer operations go through several stages, the first of which was called the currency auction, then the currency sell window, and since 2003 the platform has been adopted. Reaching the enhancement stage, that's what it says there, enhancement in quotation marks, that will start at the beginning of next year, which will adopt transfer mechanisms with international standards that do not allow tampering with Iraqi funds and the country's wealth. So, i.e., you dirty dogs, no more stealing, so get ready, right? That's how I read that. But anyway, so it goes on to talk about organizational stages, a new stage of work to avoid the defect of its predecessor, organized money transfer process, right? Reaching the enhancement stage again, there that is, by adopting a solid global correspondent bank with an accurate working mechanism that depends on the principles of foreign transfer. When we follow the current work mechanism, we find that the current transfers of the central bank have actually begun to adopt the new phase enhancement. There it is again, as we learn that the enhancement work mechanism is not complicated, but rather highly flexible, and its requirements are easy and are currently in effect, which gives the transfer mechanism flexibility, and it may be carried out without any defects, and the local market is not affected as the mechanism is approved in advance. So they've been doing the new system, whatever it is, they've been doing it, and they're finding that it works. All right. So today, operating and unsanctioned banks face a new regulatory issue that requires the presence of an external correspondent, and they are calling that a sound global bank. And then there's some more words, but it says there is more to come. That's how they end that article, and I would like to say the best is yet to come. What's our time? Okay. Experts propose restructuring some banks in line with governmental banks. So you could read this, but they've been doing that, right? They started trying to merge Rafidan and Rashid banks, and that didn't work out, and so they've been restructuring. But here, oh, well, I didn't bold this, but see this one section here, hoarding money. The financial advisor pointed out the need to restore trust between the banking institution and the customer, as it was lost a long time ago, which promoted citizens to hoard their money outside banking channels in order to maintain its disposal at the appropriate time, because some private banks, due to circumstances beyond their control, mismanagement, and other matters, have distanced citizens from banks. So they're acknowledging, and I like that was the first thing they talked about. Then they go on and talk about how, don't you just love that? They're taking serious steps. Yeah, so let's see. This was a pretty big article too. Iraq and BP agreed to redevelop Kirkuk fields. That was all over the place this morning. Also, here's an article about Iran's money. Admits the challenges. What is Iran's plan to save its currency? And they do actually have some ideas here if you want to read that. One of them is to get rid of some of the hard currency, pull the notes off the street. And here, the region, great efforts to attract investment companies. And another name for the region is what? Kurdistan. Yeah. So there's that. And I think that might be the last. Yeah, that's the last article. So again, a pretty good day. A good day, article day. More confirmation that they're moving forward, taking steps, expanding to get off the auction system by the end of the year or beginning of next year. But yeah, I like it. I hope you like it. I really like Sudani saying he's already worked, agreed, had a conversation with whatever, developing economic relations. All right. So thank you for listening. Thank you to those of you who have sent support, a little gift. I appreciate that. Today's Thursday. I'm not even going to say. If there's something post worthy, I will post. But Wherever you are enjoying this content, if there's a join, follow, subscribe type button, do whatever action it takes to activate that, because I don't post regularly, and if all things work as they're supposed to, if you activate that button when I do post, you'll be notified, right? That's it. Oh, no, it's not. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. Now, enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you are enjoying this content, and until next time.